Listen, this is how I feel. PJ Sparks are dancing. Sweet baby PJ.
Where is he?
Now he's running. He was like, "Oh, is that Uncle John?" Here he is. Look, say hello.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
The millions of fans.
Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. My gosh, it looks like he just woke up. Why are you doing this to him?
Literally did. He literally did. But when you try to don't tempt me with a good time, because he's like sitting there dancing in front of me, which means it was time.
I just woke up also.
I just woke up too.
I did not. I'm at the airport in San Diego for a brief period of time. So we are super excited to have Craig be the long-term substitute for this morning, since I will disappear shortly.
Yeah, he's got to be your regular fill-in. There's something that when there's first of all, panic. If we ever get sick or anything happens, it's like crap, we panic. The other thing is, one of the reasons that this works is just knowing the other person. There's a thing where you got to know. And if anybody noticed that small announcement that I made that I was on The Amazing Race, I was like, my wife
noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small announcement. I mean, you've been keeping that for a while.
For a while. And I told John and Katie yesterday.
You and I talked about it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's going to happen. And here we are.
And my family is beside themselves. Frankie loves The Amazing Race. So it's crazy pumped.
Jennifer and I talked about being on it for years. We talked about, we'd be really good at this. You'd yell at me. I'd try to drive right. And we had a whole strategy. So what can you talk about at this point?
Not much, but I can tell you, just like life, once you have a strategy, it all goes out the window for when real life happens, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because I had two people here in San Diego, which I was at the TA week, and asked me, "Oh my gosh, I saw what Jackye posted. That's so awesome, blah, blah, blah. When does she leave to do it?"
Everybody keeps asking that. I'm like,
it's been done.
Girl, it's the bag. And they're like, the fact that people are pretty impressed that I could keep a secret for that long. And to be honest,
Five people said that to me. 5 people said that to me.
This is TA. There's no secrets.
That's right. I mean, one person was mildly offended that they wouldn't have been let in earlier with this. I was like, she don't owe you anything. What you talking about? I don't understand.
I will tell you that my high school best friend is very devastated. He was like, I can't believe you didn't tell me. We will talk about this. And I was like, if you can find me, sure.
I'll have my people call your people.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Go ahead. Test me out on the carpet. Just kidding. It's a crazy.
I think we should talk about the level of celebrity that you'll now operate from, because I don't know that everybody will appreciate this.
I won't wake up for less than 50,000. So I was like, still looking for a job. Nobody confused. You don't have to wait till after the season. I can say unequivocally.
I already have heard they're doing An Amazing Race centerfold dossier in various men's publications. Is that rumor true that you'll be doing that?
It's with my sister. It ain't with me. Let me tell you.
Listen, that's actually true. It's probably your sister.
Right. It would be with my sister.
Do you know that I was on a centerfold dossier in a publication for Human Resources many, many years ago?
I do. I need a copy of that. I want to know who has
that.
The worst.
I heard it was the worst experience for so many people. Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
Say more.
Mike Vandervoort.
Was not the centerfold. Let's start there.
Bill. is in this thing. it's
Steve,
chaos.
Steve Levy in that too?
Steve Levy's in it.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was
Was it
quite
a
the
fundraiser?
sensation. We were supposed to be raising money for male cancer.
No.
I think we
And-
sold 3 calendars.
Yeah, man. That's funny.
Mhm.
I was just with Steve Levy and Dean, and some of those guys are here, obviously, for TA week. I'm in the gym yesterday morning. I hope Steve is watching this. I mean, it is pre-dawn. I'm in there gym. I hear Steve is in there working out. I just grabbed the machine cables, like literally just put my hand on it, do the first pull down. My man's right next to me. John, let me show you. This is how you. I was like, hey.
It's serious.
Oh yeah,
He will show you.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
He
Yeah.
was laughing so hard. I'm like, buddy, I'm not even awake. Back away.
Look, this is how we swimmers do it.
You know what? Exactly. Exactly.
When I was serving,
oh my gosh, he hates us. If he's listening to this, he hates us.
I don't think
come
we have-
on. He's our
We
favorite.
never know.
He loves us. He loves us. He loves Jackye. He's the one who felt some sort of way. What's going on here? How do I not? I'm like, hey, she don't know you. What you talking about?
I will tell you something interesting this week. So, as you might have seen, I posted my husband got me a little cheesecake with 25,000 on it because I was laughing about getting LinkedIn, and it was annoying. Like I kept saying, well, I never really thought about it, but now that I'm this close, it was like 200, 888.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we left to go to dinner because we knew they were going to make the announcement. So we wanted to go in public and then stay in the house. And I was at 24,999 for hours.
For hours. Yeah.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. But in order to try to get that last one, I posted on a finance post because I didn't want to bug my friends. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. The level of mansplaining on the finance and the stocks and how they work. Granted, I mean, I don't know.
Are you kidding?
No. And the thing that was funny is like the first explanation was so great, right? But then the second one was just adding to the next one. And it was like this whole pissing contest. And I was like, this is fun. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to start going, oh, I don't know anything about electricity. And then just watch it flood. Just watch it flood. I mean, I'll be at 50,000 in no time. Because all of a sudden I'm like, wow, you're so smart. And then they follow me then. And then that's how you get to 25,000. If anybody wants to know how to
You
build
just have to go on and act dumb?
Yes, you have to go well and complimentary at the same time.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
You have to say, I'm dumb, but you're so smart. It reminds me, there was a guy in college. I used to go to his house and I'd be like, can you show me how to make pudding? And he'd say, oh, sure. And then
You just wanted pudding.
Just first of all, you let's come on. Pudding is code for something else. Let's come on.
John?
It's a family show.
It's a family show. That's right.
That's how families are made. I am well aware of it.
Listen, it's a hard time, Dion. Have you been looking at the news? You got to get in where you fit in.
That's right. It's tough out there.
Ooh.
Jackye, you are going to be to 50 in no time with your announcement. Right?
Yeah, but
were you like Brian Doyle Murray at the end of Caddyshack where he's watching that golf ball about to tip into the hole while everything's blowing up around him?
Buddy, there's only like 7 of us who still remember that reference.
Who knows that reference?
I know. There's not many of us left.
It's on TV every week. I just watch it on Peacock or something.
To be fair, it is on TV every week.
That's Caddyshack. All right.
It literally is. But I yesterday was a full blur. Like I sat in this chair and I've been exhausted just from all the flows. And then it was really interesting. Of course, you had I was like, bitch, I ain't talked to you since 5th grade. My friend, people are using those terms. Those words are doing a lot in the post, but I'm like, also just excited. Everybody's excited, and I get it. It is neat to be like, it's somebody that you recognize,
It's amazing.
whatever it is.
Look at Jim. Good morning, Jim. We're so glad you. I can't share anything, Jackie. I
No,
think
I'll
only
share.
you.
Yes.
I mean, he is, buddy. First of all, great to see you. You got a lot happening inside your heart today. This is so good.
So Jim and I and Jackie and probably Nikki will be in Austin together in about 4 weeks at Talent Net Live. And I just heard John can't go.
Yeah.
That's not true. Who said I can't go?
I thought you
No,
did.
I didn't say you. No, I didn't say you couldn't go. Did you say you couldn't go?
I said yes to Craig. He
Can
texted
go.
me.
Okay. All right. So John's going to be there too. It's March
Man, my
7th.
gosh, already I'm out. See, this is because of your announcement. Craig's trying to worm his way right in and kick me out. This is what's happened right before your eyes.
I am not attempting to replace. I've got my own podcast called On Agency with Patrick Rooney.
Woo!
And I've
And
probably got
I
3
was
other
with
podcasts.
Patrick last night. He hosted a dinner here, and so it was lovely. Thank you to Patrick. We had a
Where'd
great
you guys
time.
go?
Jordan, JRDN,
In
right
town.
on the
Gotta
in
be
town.
cute.
Yeah.
I love when people drop the vowels to be cute.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The prices were not cute, so I kept holding his hand every so often because I saw what people were ordering.
Can I buy a vowel?
That's what the restaurant should be. It should be called "Can I Buy a Vowel with No Vowels?"
That's right. That's right.
TalentTexas.com is how you join us in Austin for Talent Net Live.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Say that again.
TalentTexas.com. I buy all these URLs, John. You know how it is. I'm a hoarder, and right. So I've got employerseo.com. I've got hiring-humans.com. All these things, and I think someday they'll be valuable and somebody will want to buy it. But no, I just end up paying fees every year to keep these.
I do that too.
But you have JackieClayton.com, do you not?
I have JackieClayton.com.
Yeah, good. Now you really need to protect that. So yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have BlackNASCARFan.com.
Ooh,
I have
I like that.
Pursuitology, which was my first handle. I have that still. But apparently I can sell it. It's like you could sell this for $137.16.
High demand.
I might need that.
You just put that 404 page on there that says this is available for $5 million. And somebody might buy it. It's just for sale by owner.
That's right.
There are people who make a living. Seriously. So Craig, this is good for your son as well. They are watching high school athletes across the country and they try to scoop up their name.com.
Boy, yeah.
And
I need to,
really,
I'm not going to say his name right now, so
no,
nobody will
don't
do that. But I need to do that.
Please go on and do that, because then when they take a shot, right, that some of these kids that do really well in high school are going to make it to the next levels, and then they wind up selling their domain back to that kid because they need to own their brand.
That's actually disgusting.
Yeah, it's a whole business.
We all used to do that. So there is a CEO, I think he's CEO or CMO in our space that just went to work for a very popular marketing tool as their CMO. I'm not going to spell it. Who for years owned the Twitter handle for Wiz Khalifa. Okay, so and a few of us were in on the joke, and so I would be at parties or at a conference and say, "Yeah, no, I know Wiz Khalifa. Check it out." And I would tweet to Wiz Khalifa, "Wiz, what's up?" And immediately Wiz Khalifa would write back, "Fish dogs, my man.
No,
how you doing?" And it was an executive in our HR technology space.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he eventually got forced to sell it.
Dang.
Yeah,
but I'm sure for a good profit.
I don't know. He never really disclosed. Maybe that was part of the deal.
Yeah.
Question. See what I'm going to do here is, was he grateful? Because today's topic is about gratitude. Do you like the way I did that there?
I do. Yeah.
That was a really wide turn.
Way wide. Way.
You went out of your way.
Way wide.
I went completely out of my way. But I was like, what are we talking about? Every once in a while, we're going to talk about the topic. But I did want to make sure we chatted a little bit about why we were, why things are a little bit different this morning. So, are you grateful? Are y'all grateful leaders? Tell the truth.
No.
Boy, I am.
wait, which one is it? I mean, I think gratitude, there is value in gratitude. You have to thank people. And I think you forget often that people work, it's a choice. It really is a choice. And you do have to show that gratitude. I think I used to teach a class, like thank you could get you, every thank you gets you at least another 15 minutes of work. As a leader, if you keep going, it's like,
I like that.
It's not a guarantee, but I mean, if you could increase production when you make people feel good, and there's different ways. You don't have to say just thank you. There's other ways of putting that in there.
You not just saying it in a different language too, like at the end of that Disney ride.
Konnichiwa. Spaceship. Right.
Yeah. I'm a crier. So when we start talking about gratitude, like
I know. Oh.
the eyeballs will fill right up for sure.
You all know how I sign off all my emails, right? I appreciate your partnership. I've been doing that for many, many years.
Mine last email from you said up yours at the end. So I don't think that's exactly true.
I think mine was actually just 2 fingers, like kind of a swing like that.
Mine was 1 finger. He must have been on a budget. It was just 1 finger at the end.
Jim says that he's grateful for we know Jim has an entourage. He takes his team with him. You have invested a lot of gratitude.
That's right. That guy. Yeah, that Taylor carries him. He's got nothing.
100%, Jim, and he knows, Jim, you better own it. Yeah, is Jim coming to
yes,
March 7th? Good.
Yes, Jim and Taylor will be at TalentNet Live with us, with some of the Caliber Collision crew in Austin. TalentTexas.com for details.
We're going to do a live crash in the parking lot. Is that one of the deals that I've heard?
That's interesting. We will have recruiters in cars with coffee set up there. Yes. You remember the last time we did that? It was cool.
Yes.
Oh, Jackie froze on me.
Here she comes. It's Waco Wi-Fi. Here it comes. You're
Waco
back.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So literally, I don't know if you saw yesterday, I had to do a post at 10 o'clock. It's like, Jackie, if you could just do it at 10:05. Okay, I'm going to do it at 10:05. Literally, I get a thing from Spectrum, Wi-Fi, whatever. Everything's down at like 9:59. And I'm like, literally, it's one thing that I have to do today.
It's funny though, because we get so not literally that you're crabby about your Wi-Fi, but remember like dial-up, like having to wait for the AOL noises and stuff, and we like how quickly we can access so much stuff now. We forget to be grateful for, relatively speaking, how quickly the technology has advanced and allowed us to do and access things so much quicker than we do. I mean, our phones are like more powerful than computers that used to fill up rooms. Like we have access to so much stuff. It's crazy.
Right. We've had AI for years. This is not new. We've had a sentient extension of ourselves that knows us better than we know ourselves, right? For 10 plus years.
I think that's a domain to purchase, my friend, by the way, before the day is up.
Sentient
extension of ourselves.
I think sentientextension.com.
He's looking it up.
Okay, so I heard a thing the other day I was listening to NPR about, I was driving with my son on a college visit. He's being recruited to play football. And
shout out. So good. Shout out. Wow. Awesome.
He's fun to watch. He's a defensive back. He's fun to watch. Anyway, so I'm exposing him to National Public Radio on a car ride. We had to fly somewhere and rent a car. And they're talking about the fires in California, right? So temporarily that seems under control. Grateful for that. And they had some scientists on talking about how it spread so fast, and it's millions of tiny little fire grenades that get picked up by the wind and blown forward. and there's a term for that, and it's called Ember Blast. And I'm like, that's a cool name for a marketing company. And then I'm like, way too soon. Not good.
Yes.
Cool it.
Yes.
And then I went to go look for the URL, and it's like already $10,000 or something ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Ember Blast.
Yeah.
Love that though.
It is a good name. It is a very good, it's one of these things where, like, you think about some of the things that hit, like that have caught on, whether in a fad way, like fidget spinners and things like that, where you're like, how could this take off the way that it did? But it's really funny to, so, Shark Tank, there's some shows, specials that they'll do after people make their millions off of whatever happens there, what they then do with the money and how grateful those people are and how much they invest in their communities, starting nonprofits, college foundations, like all kinds of things to give back. And it gives me hope for humanity, because honestly, that's what we should be doing, quite frankly, because it's dumb luck half the time. Not that Amazing Race is dumb luck, Jackye. That's not
Dumb luck. It's fully dumb luck.
When does it air, Jackye?
March 5th.
Okay, so on March 7th, you'll be able to talk more about it.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh,
And we're
now
gonna have
I'm grateful for
a mini watching party. We can go over it, and I can say, "You see that? What happened right
Yes,
there?
yes,
There."
on a big screen. Oh, this is going to be amazing.
We could have,
Well,
you
it
could
is
call
It's
Entertainment
amazing.
Extra or Entertainment Tonight probably could be called to come and cover Talent Net. I'm telling you.
Oh, we could. Woo! This is
we
hot.
could have a whole red carpet.
This is
Mario
amazing.
Lopez. You could
Earlier,
start announcing that Mario Lopez is coming.
So our friend and one of my partners, Jessica Miller Merrill, is running point in Austin for us on our venue, and I'm going to get her on the PR wagon happening soon. This is going to be a big coming out party for Amazing
You cannot do that though, because I think Jess is already on the stalker watch list for Mario Lopez. So if we're trying to get them, she cannot be the person.
she is. We're going to get Jim D'Amico to do stand up and introduce Jackye from The Amazing Race.
I just like hearing John say Mario
Lopez. He's got those pectorals, so handsome.
He is.
He looks 25. Still looks 25 every time I see him.
I'm grateful for Mario Lopez. John, you're on mute.
John is on mute.
I'm trying to keep it muted. I'm forgetting. I'm sorry.
I get it.
Mark is saying a bunch of stuff. Yes, real gratitude is felt. It does not need to be said.
I think it has to be said.
But the check the box thing, I understand.
I'm one of those, like, I literally, if I don't hear the words, I'm really unsure. Like that, like your 6th grade girlfriend that's like, say you love me. It's like, I love you. Why do I?
That's your love language. That is your words of affirmation. Is your
right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Like I will not believe you until I hear it actually clear. Also, I don't take direction very well. If you're trying to hint, I also don't get it.
That is totally true.
But I have a rule about that.
Hmm.
I deal with absolutes and contracts, not with innuendo and hints.
Yeah, I like that.
No innuendo. I don't do well with innuendo and hints, not because I don't appreciate them, but because my mind travels 7 different ways with it. Like, do they mean this? Do they mean this? Do they mean this? And I travel all 7 of those roads.
Right.
So that's tough for me.
Yeah, I just shut it down. I'm like, listen, that's vague. I'm not going to play your game. You want to really talk about it? Let's put it in writing. That'd be great.
I didn't know that was something that happens, like having ADHD. It's like part of being on the spectrum, meaning like there are people that need very direct things. I didn't realize that. And literally Kieran Snyder, my previous boss, and now who's been promoted to friend, we've been friends for like 11 years. And she said for a full year, she kept saying, I really think you should do this thing. And I'd be like, oh, well, thanks. And she kept saying it. And finally, a year in, she goes, Jackye, why won't you do, what do I have to do to make you do this thing? I was like, you have to say, Jackye, do this thing. If you give me an out, because I move so fast and I'm so distracted, I'm always taking the out because if I can't get, I used to commit and I still overcommit. So if you give me the out, I'm going out. So it's like, I need you to say very directly. And I think that it makes sure that there isn't any. You've all seen the little video about the guy getting he thinks he's getting a promotion, but he's getting fired. And they talk about his last performance review, and what you hear and what you say can be completely different. I think you need to be really explicit, but yes, I do think people should feel like.
Well, and I think that's why being grateful for good communicators or people who understand your communication style is undervalued. So when I sit with some new people, even in my own organization, I'm like, tell me what helps you to know you're okay, or how to set expectations. Is it just a list? Is it, do you need a list and then each one kind of talk through for a while? Do you want just a video chat? Like what? Because I have to figure out how people communicate and how they're going to receive information and apply information. And when you have a place where there's value in that, I mean, I'm grateful for that, because if I'm winging it, I'm probably 75% of the time going to be wrong. I'll make an assumption that's just incorrect.
Well, you know what was funny? I told you I used Lattice at my last organization, and one of the things it said, you haven't given feedback in 3 months. And I was like, why don't you go to him? That's not my problem. Why are you asking me? Like, as a leader, it's my responsibility.
She's going, mind your business. That's what I hear you say.
Like, well, then tell Frederick, I'm making up the name. Tell Frederick he should do something worthy of getting some praise then.
That is too specific of a name to just make up. Who is Frederick? Who is Frederick?
No.
Does Todd know about Frederick? I'd like you to discuss this. Yes. Is that one of the pretty boys on one of the teams on Amazing Race that we were looking at? What's the guy's name?
Come on. But can I tell you something? Literally, there's a guy. There's a guy. We didn't know each other's names, and we're looking at these people, and you talk about them because you don't know them. So I was like, oh my God, did you see those guys? And my sister's like, who? And I was like, oh, the lumberjacks. And we're like, ha ha ha. They're real lumberjacks. They were real lumberjacks.
Is that better than real firemen? It's close.
I mean, they'll both do much better, Craig, than your centerfold in a calendar.
Let me tell you, they'll sell more than 3. That's all.
100%. Yeah. Listen, I think the 3 were sold because of me. Let's go.
I mean,
might be true.
A long time ago in a land
might
far
be true.
We should just make a Gen X calendar. Sell like hotcakes.
Yes.
I'm here for it. I'm in shape these days. I'm trying to be like John and Jackye.
I mean, we're trying. Can you share Dion's comment, please? Girl.
Lumber snacks.
Yes.
Deanna says.
Like.
Girl.
Let's take Jim's comment real quick. He says, before I jump, we're talking gratitude. He's grateful for all 3 of you, us, and all we do for our community. And we're amazing. And that's great. Thank you, Jim. If you're still here, if not, it'll be on the recording.
That's right.
We're grateful for you.
No, I appreciate that. And go ahead.
Speaking of the recording, so this is my bow out, my half hour in. So Craig will continue to carry the mantle of co-host for me, and I appreciate it greatly. Great to be with the 2 of you this morning. Love you both.
Love you.
I will be getting on a flight and making my way back to Florida. So I will see you all soon.
All right.
Safe travels.
See you.
Bye.
See you, buddy. Bye. Are we doing the smartless thing? Bye.
Bye.
That's great. This is better than smartless anyway.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for Jason Bateman.
I love Jason Bateman. My favorite. My
He's so
favorite.
funny.
I got to tell you though, on Rebecca Eldridge. So I met Rebecca Eldridge. She came on to Inclusive AF, and she is a counselor, but then has a part of, as part of the practice, working with people in this like work, doing like DEIB work or social justice work, and being a counselor for those types of people, because it's put you in a really interesting category. But now I feel like everybody's in that space where it's like, how do you learn to stand up for people? And I say that to say, like, one of the things that I've been really grateful for is all of the mentors that I've had in this space. Like, and I feel like that's a true sign of leadership. People don't know this. Like last week, me and Craig had a call, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he's like, I'll tell you what you do. Here, do this, this, this. And I was like, oh snap. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know I had to get a pencil. Hold on. Like, I was like, no, really, in sharing these things, there's so much that we can learn. And I will tell you, without exposing too much, one of the life lessons that I've learned in the last year is I get excited for the opportunity to fail, knowing that there's a lesson there. The
Right.
closer I get to failing or reaching out, the closer I am to the lesson. It's one of those where it's like working out sucks, but it's nice to have the payoff later. And I think putting yourself out there kind of sucks, but learning later from those lessons, and there's so much to share, and it's better when you can do it together. So like, try not to hoard praise.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I think sometimes we get embarrassed to praise people, right? And it's a shame, but it feels like, everyone has to put this boundary around praise by saying, hey, listen, I'm not sucking up here. I
Right.
really mean, which shouldn't have to be done. I mean, there's gaslighting, but then there's honesty. And
Right.
if you're just being honest, let's not couch it in, this is not just me trying to sell you something. I really like you, and
Right.
I think you're great. That's not enough of that. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, and we also have to recognize us Gen Xers, like, people are looking up to us. I know we all feel like we're 25, like we're not. And there's a lot of life, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of life that you learn. And I feel like there's a full evolution. And AI right now is giving us huge opportunities of sharing different experiences, putting various things together, and being able to share more. But what is getting frustrating, I don't know if you've noticed how many AI generated articles there are. You can tell. Let me tell you, the first sign is when the title says like pizza getting back to dough, like morning, orange juice's favorite thing. Like there is a subtitle on every title with a colon with 2 fire emojis or a rocket emoji.
Yeah. Well, and then when they forget to take the end off that says, in summary, this is a great way to show.
Listen, I had one that I posted that was fully said, like GPT copy, like it fully said it. And a guy like called me, and he didn't say, you're an idiot. He was like, oh, I think you might want to.
You might just want to take that a little bit off there. Yeah.
Right.
So I've had so many interesting conversations about AI and GPTs and things. And I spoke to a man yesterday, a young man who's a really sharp guy. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say his name or not. But he was recently in charge of sourcing for OpenAI. We can say his name. His name's Ben Blundell. Good guy. Anyway, if you're looking for a really sharp guy, he's like ex-Google, ex-OpenAI in Austin. Maybe joining us for TalentNet Live. He thinks he's going to be golfing in Phoenix that weekend. Needs to chill out. But we discussed these things. We make these custom GPTs for everything.
Yeah.
Right. And I talked to you about this last week. you can make a full-blown CRM with a custom GPT, right? That will look at your calendar and make you lead lists and of all your appointments for the past 3 years. How do I reach out to all these people? Right? You can do so many interesting things now. And while the results aren't perfect and they still need, some human intervention, I am grateful that we just have this shortcut, this amazing shortcut
Right.
for things. And I don't believe that in the long term, right now, tech industry is sort of down because AI is, you can write code with it.
Right.
Well, can I tell you, I've done it and that code sucks.
It sucks.
It's not great.
Right. It leads you to where to start studying, but it
Mhm.
doesn't. I mean, I did create a little mini app, and then I was amazed at how many languages you need to do simple stuff, how much integration. I used a Zapier, I created a Zap last week. AI lies. So Zapier lets you use AI to create the Zaps or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make it go through all of my calendars like you're talking about and set a reminder. So if it can automatically put a time if somebody asks for that time. So it went and it had one, but I already scheduled it with a group of people that I would consider influential. I'm trying to look cool because I'm looking for a job. And I was like, okay, they'll say, we'll do this and we'll put it on the spreadsheet. And I said, okay, but don't send an invite because I've already met with them. And it says, okay, but I'll put it on the calendar, and it had the people before I sent it. I was like, okay, but don't send it. It's like, okay, I won't send it. I hit enter and it sends it. I was like, lies. Like, y'all really have to check this stuff. I mean, I get a little bit of forgiveness, but you can look really dumb.
Yeah, so that was one of my early lessons. Don't actually connect it to any sort of email situation.
No, at all. At
Right.
all. But let me ask you a question. What have you gotten the most benefit from in using AI? I know it's a different topic, but I really I'm curious because it's infiltrating all of our lives.
So this is interesting. So I'm in constant sort of networking mode, right? Because for my consultancy, right, I do work with employers and I help them solve complex recruiting operations and talent attraction problems. And now it's talent management as well. But I don't have any sales force to go out there and do that for me. I just do stuff like this, right? It's inbound marketing, and it's also my solution for inbound recruiting. It's what my book, Hiring Humans, is about. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. Yeah, right here. This book, Hiring Humans,
Hey,
is all about in the age of automation, you still have to have empathy and human touch in the process. But I was talking to Joy Demore, who is a TalentNet attendee, Dallas person, lovely talent leader, last week. And she said that, so part of what I do is I leak test job applications for employers, right? I apply to a job and I see, your messaging is not good here. It takes too long here. It doesn't leave me with a great feeling here. So it's not just the data, but also how does it feel? And she said, do any of those employers ever call you for an interview? And I'm like, yeah, sometimes they do. And then I say, you don't want to hire me. I'm probably too expensive, but you could consult with me for this and I could help you get a jump start on it. And she said, I've been looking for a job and I have been taking the LinkedIn profile of the person that I'm going to interview with and maybe the whole team and putting it into ChatGPT or Claude and saying, you are a culture index chatbot. You assess psychometric evaluations for a living and assess these people versus me. How would I best get along with them? And I started doing that for my meetings. It's amazing.
dang,
Amazing.
it works.
Yeah, it works. It's crazy. So it gives you this little.
I'm like, we gotta shut down early. I want to go. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me check this one out. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I'm going to do that. I'll let you know how it goes next week. I got nothing to lose.
Yes, it at least gives you a little roadmap, right? Like,
Yeah.
and one of the things that I was talking to somebody about this last night. Occasionally, when you're stuck in a process, and you can ask a chatbot, an AI, whatever, to give you a process for, fulfilling your dreams, X, Y, Z. And if it's a business thing, occasionally you can just play like you're the robot and do exactly what it says, all the steps, all the way through. And you want to intervene because your feelings get in the way and you think this or that. And like, hey, I can't just do that. But you do it. You say, write, do everything it says. And very often the outcome is fantastic.
Yeah. But
So test something like that out. Just see, right? I need to get this done. How exactly do I do it? And follow it all the way through and see what happens.
do that. I've done it a couple of times, but I want to do it in a different way now, because I have been asking, like, what should I do with my skills? What are the best ones? And I built a Jackye Clayton GPT the other day, started putting all the stuff in there like you had talked about, and asking, I was like, what would Jackye think? And then you also understand, like, what would public Jackye think, versus like, how would I respond? Because those things can be different. Someone told me once they like conference Jackye better than regular Jackye.
I don't buy
so
that.
you just like it when I'm like all dressed up and I'm on the stage and I'm like full of smiles, and you don't like it when I'm, behind the stage and heavy stuff.
Normal.
Like a normal. I was like, what? I'm a nice person. I don't think any, all those things are going on. Ooh.
So you don't want to give ChatGPT any sort of financial details or things like that, right? But you can also take all that stuff out of a spreadsheet and show it your bank statements or your Rocket Money summary and say, where am I spending too much money? And
I know.
Where could I
Mine is going to tell me sneakers. I'm going to yell at it and be mad and be like, get off me. Yeah. I like this. This is what Dion just said that I was cracking up at. You can ask it to roast you.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
I'm terrified.
It's so I keep a journal, kind of like a diary, on ChatGPT, and so it gets a little intuitive, right? It doesn't have any opinion. It's just based on data. But you can ask ChatGPT, what do you know about me that I don't know about myself? Try that one, and you'll get some interesting feedback.
You could just look at what Netflix suggests to you too. Like, you're seeing all the true crime or all these weird movies.
There's a TikTok meme going around now that the deal is you put in to the search bar my type, and whatever videos it gives you back, that's your type, like man or woman or other, right? Yeah.
Oh God.
And it's a little creepy.
That is creepy. I'm not, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I have been asking, like, I named mine Larry. I asked ChatGPT if I could give him a name, and I had some masculine form, and he said Larry. And so when he gives me stuff that isn't right, I just literally type Larry, period, and it'll say, okay, and it'll change it. Which is funny that it knows what I'm saying without saying anything at all.
So I think it's all connected. Okay, right? Your phone, your Fire Stick, your laptop, all your different services. Always click, by the way, people, ask app not to track. Always. Because now I find ChatGPT giving me suggestions of things that I've talked about elsewhere. They sell your data, ladies and gentlemen. They sell your data.
That's creepy. I mean, and the thing that's going to be interesting is trying to explain. I was just thinking the other day about how are we going to train recruiters to work with people now? How are we going to make sure that we have a good candidate experience? And what does that look like? Because the two things don't mix. The using all the automation and having a good candidate experience, they just don't go together. Like, because how many people are going to be put in interviews that they're not qualified for because they're a good resume writer, but they're horrible, and then get fully rejected. And then you have to tell them that, you know,
Yeah, you or the ATS,
the ATS might have to tell them.
Right. So it's interesting. We're now coming kind of full circle, because did you hear that Claude now won't allow job candidates to use AI to put their resumes together?
No.
That's against their rules. So Claude is one of the best open AI tools, and themselves won't let job candidates use AI. And so this is something that I've been getting asked to do recently. So I did a project for the nation's largest financial institution, shall be left nameless. And I had to help them recreate 13,000 jobs because they use Oracle Recruiting Cloud. And that puts little snippets of the jobs all over the page, right? So they can't all be exactly alike. So you have to change them slightly. How do you do that at scale?
Wow. How do you do that at scale?
Right. I built a custom GPT, and this institution, before working with me, was not allowed to use AI from their work computers at all. And I helped them get into a situation where safely, without risk, they could do it. But here's the tail of that. Now companies are saying our job descriptions, Craig, are not AI ready enough to match up to the candidates' resumes that are now more sophisticated than our job descriptions.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's fair.
Mind blown.
That's fair.
And so now I have to make AI ready job descriptions for companies.
Really? I'm sorry. Was that out loud? Was that like,
yeah.
I think because we can't copy paste anymore, friends.
Mm-mm.
It's just not going to work. And you have to know what people are doing. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with these people that are selling like their resume builders meant to like break the ATS.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Stop it.
It's nonsense. And older ATSs aren't sophisticated enough for that, right? They're just
and
not.
Nobody, if you've paid attention lately, is in a rush to make a really up-to-date current ATS, you know?
Right. Jerry just said candidates are ahead of employers, and he's right. And Jackye, what you just said, nobody's rushing to build a better ATS.
Well, I mean, not all of it. They'll say, oh, we have matching. And it's like, okay, but then you don't.
We have scheduling.
Right, but they suck, kind of. Or one of them, like we have these pieces, they haven't caught up.
It's an add-on. Yeah. And the whole thing, well, and there's a huge market for those add-ons, right? I mean, that's part of what I get to do for employers is recommend how to duct tape your crappy, something that runs with Workday.
It smells like, let's just say Schmirk Day. We'll just call it that.
Great HR software, kind of not great recruiting software. So how do you get a good candidate experience out of that? And that's a solvable thing.
It is a solvable thing. And they just had a layoff. That's why I was like, I'm sorry about that for people that were like they
did
at that
8%.
Huge. But we're looking at, there are people right now, like while all of these people are laid off, what the fear is in my mind is people are looking for ways to replace them first before they urge back into hiring. I don't think we'll see hiring move as fast as the openings occur as we see a change in the economy. Right. I still feel it's going to be slow because people are going to first call people like me and Craig and figure out if there's a way that we can streamline. What are the processes that we can streamline, and what is the type that we need to hire? in order to put that. I mean, I think that we're going to have to really double down on culture, on culture inside organizations, because once you automate that,
Mhm.
the people that you hire, it impacts the whole organization. I don't think people have fully grasped all of what Dion said. AI is here. If you're not on the train, you
Mhm.
better start running and fast. Absolutely.
I was sitting, so Hire Easy has moved to a new location. They've got an office now in Irving, Texas. My friends at shout out to Stephen and Shannon and crew. And we were discussing the fact that talent acquisition is kind of going away, right? I mean, the function, the people function of talent acquisition,
Right.
sadly, right? And it's becoming, I mean, what I see is it's becoming more about talent management, right? So the game, the goal in the future, because as Jerry says, candidates are sophisticated, right? And you can get in the transfer portal anytime you want and just go do something else. You can pick up your tools and walk next door. The game is going to be retention, right? How do you keep people? The main problem with applicant tracking systems and other software in our space, at least, is turnover, right? Somebody brings it in, it's their buddy, and they set it all up, and it takes 2 years to be running well at all. And then there's turnover at the software company. And so that team that installed it knows all about what you need as an employer goes away, and you get somebody new and you have to try to retrain them. And then there's turnover at the employer. That goes away, and nobody who's left, well, we're stuck with this legacy system that was here when I
Right.
got here, and we've got 3 years left on this contract. What do we do? And so I think retention and culture are going to be paramount in the future, because I don't think we're going to be able to afford to just get players for everything. We're going to need some long-term players for a lot of things in our organizations.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is that people like, it's unfortunate what we're seeing in the administration and what they're doing to dismantle DEI, when it is so critical now, because
Right.
literally when I asked Larry, my friend from ChatGPT, what should I develop this in? And it says, oh, you should just put get Python. You should use, Firestream, whatever. It's telling me it's biased to those toys. Sorry, I have the world's oldest Chihuahua, and she can't hear, but she sees
She's so
something.
cute.
But they're like, it's telling me the technology that I should use. And so, likewise, if you're asking it to screen resumes for you to pick the candidates, it's deciding the company culture for you. And once it
Mhm.
over indexes, if you don't have the ability of putting those things in there, you have to be able to build those personas. And we were talking about that the other day. You have to be really clear. And when you're using these tools, like we started the first of the conversation, you can't hint around of the type of person that you're looking for. You have to tell it what you're looking for, and
Yeah.
not be afraid of being very clear of the type. We have to go back to culture fit story at 7.
So yeah, it's interesting with skills-based talent, and right. And if that's a I'm not a huge fan of the term. I'm not a huge fan of the idea. But if you just use the methodology of skills-based hiring with any of the latest tools, and they all claim to be really good at source, screen, and match,
Right.
or source, screen, and rank.
Right.
Okay, who's doing that?
Right.
Right? If it's just skills-based, okay, I just want these skills.
Right.
So who's choosing? Is it the most SEO friendly results? Is it I mean, it's not all the candidates, certainly, and it's not the right candidates most of the time, turns
Right.
out.
Right. I mean, what people aren't thinking, we've talked about this. I know everyone hates it when we talk about recruiting like dating, but
Yeah.
the point of the conversation or the argument is, this is somebody who's going to spend years and years and years with you. A majority of their time, you're starting a relationship. It's not a family, it's a work
Mhm.
relationship, but you're starting a relationship with this person. And you wouldn't pick somebody and say, okay, I'm looking for someone who has a job and a car, a 401k plan, and those are the only things that you're looking for.
Right.
So you have to say, more about that. And so that's what I'm thinking, that culture. And for me, something else that I've learned in the last year with my unique experience is, you know, is maybe you're looking for somebody who would take that high risk behavior. I feel like that's something that's really important. I started thinking about how I was hiring for startups, and it's like, what kind of things are these people doing to put themselves out there? Because it's high risk at a startup, and you have to be confident enough to feel like you can take those things, or be a person that can commit in those situations. Like, I would hire somebody easily from like who was a used car salesman to sell software, not because of the way they hem and haw, but the way that they decided to make their money, and they know it's a high risk situation, that they independently are in control of the majority of that situation, to be able to turn that around. Would love for them to sell my software and understand that they'd be willing to take the risk, versus somebody who took inbound all the time that worked at, some other type of software company. Like, these are the things that you have to be able to look for and be able to discern on somebody's resume why this person would be a good fit for what you're looking for, or, for that culture ad.
Well, if the theory that you are who you surround yourself with, right, holds anything of value, then I want people around me that have different opinions than me, not the same.
Right.
How am I ever going to grow? And you're going to spend a lot of time with this person, whoever you hire.
Right.
One way or another.
Right. You're right. And that's the thing where it's like the culture ad is the culture fit. Like, in order to fit in this situation, we need to change this dynamic, because this is the person that we're missing. And in my analysis of so many organizations, I'm like, you don't have anybody like this. You look at, it's kind of like the Snow White thing. There's sneezy, there's dopey, there's, itchy and scratchy and whatever. Who's missing from this that can add a perspective that we could be missing? Because it's that one perspective that could be the difference between success or not.
Yeah. And, no offense to the assessment tools of the world, but I don't think perspectives are the same as disc profiles. So,
Girl,
my opinion, just my opinion.
You look, how you going to trigger somebody at 9:58? Open up a whole can.
I might. They sponsor TalentNet. I love you.
Yeah. What's your color?
Come see us March 7th, talenttexas.com.
That's right. Come see us. We do it.
If you want to do a cool project talking about any of the things that we just talked about, you might get Jackye and me both together.
That's right. Wouldn't that be something?
Fun? Yeah. Look at
I'm
that.
sorry about the world's oldest Chihuahua, but it's a miracle. We laugh every single day. We just look at her because she's got no teeth. She just comes out to eat. And apparently when I'm, recording.
When she sneezes, she hits her head on the ground.
Oh, no. Oh, tell him hi for me.
Yes, okay. TJ, he says hi. Craig says hi. So, what did we learn today, folks?
We're grateful for old Chihuahuas.
That's right. Geriatric Chihuahuas.
I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too. I love having friends. And if y'all are looking for brilliant minds or looking for an opportunity, please make sure and put it in the chat. People do watch these later and listen to them later. And I appreciate you all stopping by. Thank you. All right, bye. Host.
Bye.
A toast to you.